2 years, I will complete my 4th term in the United States Senate. And as you know, I've been thinking a lot and talking with family and friends about whether I should seek a 5th term. Now I'd like to tell you, though it probably won't be a surprise, what I've decided and then why. I have decided that it's time to turn the page to a new chapter. And so I will not be a candidate for re-election to a 5th term in the United States Senate in 2012. That was not an easy decision for me to make because I've loved serving in the Senate. And I feel good about what I've accomplished. But I know that it is the right decision. And I must say, having made it, I'm excited about beginning a new chapter of life with new opportunities. I know that some people have said that if I ran for a re-election, it would be a difficult campaign for me. So what else is new? It probably would be a difficult campaign for me, but I've run many difficult campaigns before. From my first one in 1970 against the incumbent Democratic State Senate Majority Leader, to my 1988 campaign against the incumbent Republican U.S. Senator, to my campaign for re-election in 2006 to the Senate at the height of the controversy over the Iraq War. In all 3 of those elections, most observers and pollsters thought I would not win. But with an awful lot of help from a lot of independents, Democrats, and Republicans, including many of you here today, in each case, I did win. I have never shied from a good fight, and I never will. The reason I've decided not to run for re-election in 2012 is best expressed in the wise words from Ecclesiastes. To everything there is a season, and a time to every purpose under heaven. At the end of this term, I will have served 24 years in the U.S. Senate and 40 years in elective office. By my count, I've run at least 15 full-fledged campaigns, and that's just in Connecticut, not counting the national campaigns I was involved in. So, for me, it is time for another season and another purpose under heaven. I do not intend today to be the end of my career in public service. Having made this decision not to run enables me to spend the next 2 years in the Senate devoting the full measure of my energy and attention to getting things done for Connecticut and our country. I will keep doing everything in my power to build strong bridges across party lines, to keep our country safe, to win the wars we are in, and to make sure America's leadership on the world stage is principled and strong. I'll keep doing everything I can to get our economy moving forward and put our national debt under control, to combat climate change and end our dependence on foreign oil, and to reform our immigration laws. And when my Senate chapter draws to a close in 2013, I look forward to new opportunities that will allow me to continue to serve our country and to stay engaged and involved in the causes that I've spent my career working on and that I care so much about. I go forward with a tremendous sense of gratitude for the opportunities that I've been blessed with to make a difference. As it says in Psalm 13, I will sing to the Lord, for he has treated me so kindly. And this morning I want to sing also to everyone, including every one of you in this room, who has supported and sustained me over the years, beginning with my family, my parents of blessed memory, Henry and Marcia Lieberman, my wife Adasa, who's been such a steadfast soulmate and life partner, our children, grandchildren, siblings, and extended family, all the people who volunteered in my campaigns and all the voters, first in New Haven and West Haven, and then throughout the state, who elected me to 5 terms in the state Senate, 2 terms as Attorney General, and 4 terms as a United States Senator. All the able and honorable public servants I've worked with, I want to thank. And the gifted and devoted people who have served with me as staff and who are exemplified here today by 2 people. my chief of staff and valued counselor, Clarine Nardi-Riddle, who began work with me in 1978, and Sherry Brown, my state director and undefeated campaign manager, who started work with me in 1980. I want to make clear that both Clarine and Sherry were hardly of voting age when they began. This is a day when it's natural that I step back and try to take a broader perspective on what's happening here and all the blessings that I've had. And I came back to one of my favorite metaphors for the American spirit, which comes from the great American novel written right here in Connecticut by Mark Twain, The Adventures of Huckleberry Finn. In that book, Huck and Jim ride the raft along the big river that has always, to me, represented American history. In one sense, most obviously by the way they looked, Huck and Jim could not be more different. But in another deeper sense, Huck and Jim were both Americans, unified by a common humanity and sharing a common national destiny as they traveled down the river. So every time Huck and Jim come to a bend in the river, though they do not know and cannot see what lies on the other side of the bend, they are never fearful or pessimistic. They are always excited, confident, and optimistic. That, to me, is the spirit that has always inspired Americans and propelled us forward together. It is the spirit I saw as a young man in the early 60s in the Civil Rights Movement in Mississippi, where white and black heroes refused to accept the injustice of racial segregation. It is the spirit that I've seen in our men and women in uniform, heroes who are serving in Afghanistan and Iraq today for a cause greater than themselves, protecting and advancing freedom. And it is most powerfully the spirit I've seen in the wounded heroes I visited, Walter Reed, who amazingly want nothing more than to go back to the battlefield to rejoin their brothers and sisters in arms. It's the spirit that every day inspires all our American heroes, our first responders and educators, our entrepreneurs and innovators, our citizen activists and religious leaders. And it's the spirit that inspires hundreds of millions of seemingly ordinary Americans, the unsung heroes who work hard and play by the rules every day, driven by a dream, inspired to imagine a tomorrow that is better than today for themselves, most importantly for their children, for our country and our world. That is the spirit that has defined the American people for 235 years now, and that I know will continue to make us the greatest nation in the world. And that is, my friends, the spirit that fills me today. Thank you very much. God bless you. And God bless the United States.